Hello! We are back with a book haul because I have become book haul trash, maybe a little bit. All of the books here are from a survey of different book acquisition opportunities, so we will go through all of them. The first is the Anarchist Book Fair, which I talked about last year because I went and I got books and I did a book haul about it. This time I managed to leave with only one book, and it is a book by Alana Epfel called Birth Work as Care Work, Stories from Activist Birth Communities. I'm very interested in the area of birth justice, midwifery, the history of that, how that intersected with gender, race, class, sexual orientation, etc. The other thing I got from that fair is my most prized possession, which I have somehow misplaced and cannot at the moment find, and I'm devastated, but it is a sticker that says, "Eat pussy, not animals," and I've never been the same since owning the sticker. It is in the thumbnail because this is the second time I'm filming this video and I lost it in between filmings, and you know what I mean? Just like pray for me. The second round is from my dear friend Sarah, who's already a friend of this channel, having loaned books to me before, namely The Heaviness of Things That Float. But she is away doing a semester abroad and I miss her very much. But before she left, she allowed me to raid her bookshelves because that's what good friends do. The first one that I raided from her is a poetry collection called Twoism by Ali Blythe. I have read and reread this because it's going to be in the next installment of Can Week, which is happening this month. Get excited. Then we have Cunt, A Declaration of Independence by Inga Muschio. I mean, you see why we're friends. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get to this one, but I will for the next two for sure, because I got I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, which I've been wanting to read forever, and then I also got the collected complete poems of Maya Angelou, so I'll definitely be reading those two and probably doing a joint review. The next book is from another gracious friend of mine, Alex, who went to a book festival in my province, collected a lot of books, and decided to pass one on to me, which is very, very kind of her. And it is Becoming Lynn by Trisha Dower. It's about a girl who like escapes her small town and she ends up marrying this like Methodist priest, and then he like sweeps her up into the world of like social justice and the civil rights movement and like anti-Vietnam stuff because it's set in the 60s. So sounds very interesting. More Canlit. Thank you. And because we all know my greatest weakness when it comes to book buying is when academic things are on sale. At the beginning of the semester, there was a book that had not come in yet for one of my classes, and so I was there every day checking for it. In order to make my trip worth it, I decided to look at the sale section, which was like 75% off. So I got both of these books, which are normally $40 for like $15 altogether. So like, can we really blame me? Yes, we can, because I always do this and I have so many on my shelf I'm like never gonna read. Nonetheless, the first one that I picked up is Moving Beyond Borders, A History of Black, Canadian, and Caribbean Women in the Diaspora by Karen Flynn. And this is a book where, as per what I gather from the back, what Karen Flynn is doing is looking at specifically 35 Black, Canadian, and Caribbean born nurses, where she's challenging the assumptions of gender, race, and migration as homogeneous categories. So she is complicating the way that we think about immigration, moving across borders, and the socio-political geographies of Canada. And the other one that I picked up is A Cowherd in Paradise, From China to Canada by Mei Q Wong, which follows a married couple who were married for half a century and they were forced to live apart for 25 years because of Canada's exclusionary immigration laws. And our last stop was once again a trip to Value Village, the book section, where they were having 50% off of their already inexpensive books, and I was having a rough week, and all that was getting me through that week was the thought of going and acquiring these books. So, shall we? Firstly, I got two more like collectible decorative books. The first one is this edition of Sweet Thursday by John Steinbeck. I have read Of Mice and Men and I did really enjoy it, and I'd like to read more of his books. They're not at the top of my list, but I just fucking love the pattern. We all know how I feel about patterns, okay? referencing one of previous book hauls because goddamn, look at it. Just look at it. The second one is kind of weird, but I love it. And it is German Grammar and Reader, authorized by the Education Department of Ontario, $1, the Corporation Clark Company Limited, Toronto. So I think this was like a province issued like text in school. And it, as per like the writing in the front, the last person it says it was owned to was Bessie Laidlaw, Royal City High School, 1906 to 1907. So I don't, books as just like material historical artifacts I think are really cool. I also like learned German in high school, and I got two feminist classics. The first one is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, because thus far the only Margaret Atwood that I've read and talked about on this channel is the Penelopiad, which I did like. And so, I mean, it's a classic. I don't think I'm going to love it. I think it's going to be just fine, to be quite honest with you. The next we have is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I was going to say Woof. I've actually only read A Room of One's Own. And then we have Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood by Rebecca Wells. This is about like, I think it's just about like a group of like, are they like debutantes in the South? Southern Belles? I don't know what the difference is. But it's just like this group of girls and their like moms and family, and it's about the sisterhood. It just seemed like a fun read, and it reminded me of Emma. Two more left. And the last two that I have are The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy, which I have heard amazing things about, particularly from Jen Campbell, I think was the last person I heard talk about this. But it sounds really good and amazing, and now I have it and I'm going to read it and I'm going to have a great time. And then we have Say You're One of Them by Umweem Akpan, which is a short story collection about the resilience of children, and it's set across different countries in Africa, which I think is also going to be really good. So that is it for this book haul, and that will be it for a long time, for real this time, because I've actually gotten to the point where I don't want to acquire any more unread books. So have a great day, enjoy your life, read all the things.